It's been interesting being able to like reflect on my past self and the type of things that I used to tolerate, and you know how much I quote unquote needed the attention from certain people, and you know how bad I really wanted to get out of my house. So like I would literally just chill with dusties, like just to smoke, just to chill, just to eat, you know. Like I really wish that I knew myself now. Hey guys, welcome back to the DeFINE Feminine podcast. I'm not gonna reintroduce myself again because you already know who it is. So I woke up this morning, I felt very empowered to get up and go, get up and do, and to stop sitting on my ideas. Because like, what the fuck am I waiting for? Am I waiting for someone to do it for me, or what? Today is the day that I get on my shit, and I feel like I've been on my shit for a little bit, but today's gonna be a different type of day because now I'm gonna put things into action and just stop talking about it, because it's really not doing anything for my spirit. Just like constantly just like setting myself up for mental agony, feeling like I'm not capable of, you know, putting things into, not even perspective, because I think the perspective has already been established, more so putting it to work. Scorpio season is definitely bringing out the erotic, the bold side of me that I love to see it. And it's definitely giving me a lot of nostalgia this month, just being able to like not be afraid of myself too much, you know, or just to not like take myself like too seriously, but also taking myself seriously enough to get things going. But in a sense, for me, not taking myself seriously, like stop thinking too deeply about things that can be fun, you know, like why like sabotage your own sense of fun and freedom. Today I'm outside, just enjoying nature. It's a beautiful day, and I moved. I'm definitely not in the same place that I was in a few months ago. I took some time off from YouTube because I just felt like I wasn't happy with the type of content I don't think I wasn't happy with the content I was putting out. I just feel like I just wasn't doing it from a happy place. I was just doing it just because. Unless like my content included my partner in some way, I felt like I just wasn't happy. I had a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and I just needed some time to myself to recuperate, do a little therapy, and kind of like rediscover myself. I'm a side reel Gemini, and it's very necessary for me to reinvent myself every 6 months or so because I just get real stale, you know. And I know a lot of people, they probably feel like that, but they just never really activate that reinvention of self, because it takes a lot of balls to do so, to be honest. And I just needed that time to really grow, you know. So yeah, on today's podcast we're going to be talking about the Scorpio new moon and what it has done for my life. Just in general, I've been really working on activating my strengths and utilizing my intuition for things that are necessary to grow and evolve as a person, and also to contribute something good to the world outside of myself. I think that it's super important to be able to utilize your gifts for the good. Sometimes it's bad because, you know, we got that Lilith energy where you want to be a little petty, you want to be a little, you know, snarky. And I definitely been able to acknowledge all the different sides of self that needs work, the things that needs to be enhanced, and the things that I need to kind of like, you know, chill on, because sometimes I'll be wilding, I'm not even gonna lie. But it's good to be self-aware and to be able to like take that time to figure out, but also not isolate yourself. Like I find that a lot of times people you know, they take the opportunity to heal themselves, but they go through this isolation stage, and they don't realize that sometimes isolating yourself is not good for the psyche. Like, sorry, I'm gonna be drinking my Crown Apple Washington canned drink. So I literally seen a commercial for this a few months ago, and I finally went to Specs and got it, and I love it. It has like cranberry juice, Canadian whiskey, the apple flavor. Like, it's really good. It's definitely a good drink. Yeah, it did that. But yeah, like, I feel like for me, I know everyone has like their own way of like coping and healing and shit, but like for me, isolation does not work. I feel like being social allows me to feel like I'm a part of the world, and that I'm not crazy. Because when you're in your head a lot and you're not social, and not even just like on Instagram and shit, because social media is not being social, because a lot of times people they're not even social on social media. But me being social is like me speaking to my friends. Like, my friends can't go a month, sometimes a week, without speaking to me. Like, it's just weird. If you don't hear from me within a week, bitch, I'm dead. Like, I'm dead. You need to reach out to someone and figure out, you know, when my body has been laid, because there's no reason why Justine is missing in action. Like, that's just not me. It's not me. So and it's mainly because of my Cancer rising. Like, I am the sun. Like, I am very vibrant, and I need to be active and, you know, just doing things. And yeah, like, all of these different things that I'm learning about myself, like the fact that I've always had it in me to want more for myself, and it's so beautiful to be able to look back, because a few months ago I literally was like forced to move. Like, spirit was like, bitch, go. Like, New York was crazy. They were like telling people you have to get vaccinated. That's definitely not something that I'm into. And you know, I had like an in-home business at the time, so like I had clients telling me I should get vaccinated, and I just felt like it was just a conflict of interest, because like, we don't know each other like that for you to be telling me what to put in my body. Like, I do what's on top of your head, not what's in. Like, I don't put nothing in your body. So like, I just feel like it was kind of weird. But it's also like, it's one of those things where a lot of people are influenced by their environment, and because of that, it makes them very like frantic. And for me, I am a homebody, so like, it really didn't influence me that much, because I was always at home. I was always kind of away from all the chaos. Like, I never had COVID the whole time COVID was happening. Like, I got sick recently, like when I moved to Texas, and I think it's because of like the change of weather and shit. Like, I was just feeling like, I don't even know, like, I was feeling crazy. It was actually me and my partner, we were just coughing like crazy. But once that went, it was good. Like, we didn't have any like weird symptoms that most people would say that they had if they had COVID. So like, that's the reason why, like, I say I trust in God, because people was out here like dropping like crazy. Like, it was crazy, and it was scary, and it was definitely an eye-opener. But I'm also one of those type of people that I value life regardless. Like, I don't need a pandemic to value my life. So it was one of those things where it's just like, New York just didn't align with who I was evolving into, because I'm not really like a frantic person. Like, I'm very chill, I'm very earthy. Like, I love going to the park. Like, but like, the environment that I was in when I was back in New York, like, I was in Westchester County. Yeah, there were parks, but it wasn't like being in Manhattan. Like, living in Harlem was such a blessing for me, because Central Park was so easily accessible. But once I moved to like Westchester, like, there wasn't much parks to go to. So I low-key felt isolated. Like I felt like I was literally in my house all the time. You know, I didn't really have friends like that. I mean, like I'm pretty sure, and this is the thing that I'm learning too. I'm pretty sure there were people that probably wanted to hang out with me and shit, but like the type of time that I was on, I needed high frequency type of people. Like I needed people that weren't like, they weren't in question of who they were. Like I needed that confident, that, you know, like driven, self-driven. Like I needed creatives. I needed, you know, those people that actually do want friendship as opposed to like enablers. Like I think my criteria for friendship is very particular, and that's okay. Like I'm very happy that I maintained my standard of friendship and stuff, because it's brought me to a place where now I'm very content with my Libra and Aquarian friend that, you know, they're able to like hold their ground in different aspects of my life, but we're also very different. So like that allows me to be myself, because before I was attracting a lot of like Cancerian friends, and I'm like, oh, like this is different. Like, okay, you know, and Cancers are beautiful people, you know, they're definitely not bad people, but they can be a little too obsessive, and it's sometimes very overwhelming, especially like when you're a Cancer as well. Like, but I'm also like Gemini mix, so it's a lot, you know. It's definitely a little conflict of interest. There's so many different layers in me that I don't want to sit here and talk about men all the time. So yeah, like I just love the range of friendships that I have now, because it's very simple. It doesn't really take much to maintain these relationships, because I've also been very like invested in my sense of creativity, just being able to don't come over here, these bees be big as hell. I've been investing a lot in my creativity, you know. I've been going to Michael's a lot, and just buying little things, but not being excessive, because last year I knew I was depressed, because bitch, I got $200 and I ended up going on Michaels.com and buying $200 worth of yarn, and I ended up having to give it away once I moved. So like it was such a waste of money, but not really, because somebody else was able to use it. Hey Chanel. It's so interesting just being able to see the polarity between the unhealed version of me and the healed version of me. And healing is definitely something that, you know, it takes time, and I think that's what the Scorpio new moon has been able to teach me, is the fact that like that process in between January to now, like now we're in November, has been able to teach me like you had to go through all of these different steps in order to get to a point where you genuinely love yourself, and you love your journey, and you love the people around you, and you appreciate life so much more when you take time with yourself to just grow, you know. So like pretty much when it came to me like moving and stuff, because I think I kind of diverged from that conversation, I feel like when I had to move, it was really like scary for me, because I was no longer moving by myself. I was also moving, hi I was also moving, hello, moving with my partner, and it's a lot when you're not by yourself anymore. Like it low-key feels like you're married, like when you are moving across this, like the country with someone that is not from the place that you're moving to. And because of the fact that like I had the experience to live in Texas before, it gave me the opportunity to know and familiarize myself with the different like places, you know, the culture and all that stuff. So when I was able to move with him, it was definitely a tussle. He definitely knew that this was a good move, because like I said, New York was shifting a lot. Like we couldn't even go out to eat without the vaccination card and shit. So it was definitely like weird and limiting, as opposed to here, like you barely have to wear a mask. But it was very groundbreaking, and it really showed me how much love there was in my relationship, because I feel like when things are convenient, especially like in terms of like relationship dynamics, that's when people are able to like, they're able to coexist and they're able to like just go with the flow. But when things start to shake up and you're having to like question, like, is this present time and this present like situation, is it worth me doing a 360 in life, you know? Because like for me, in my head, I'm like, this is gonna be great for us, you know? We're gonna be able to like have a nice apartment, and it's gonna be nice and sunny most of the time. Like around now, like it gets a little cold, so like you gotta throw on the hoodie. And honestly, I could have worn my white beater out here because it wasn't necessary. But it was definitely a 360, especially the fact that we didn't have the amount of time that I had the first time around when I moved here. So like when I moved here in 2018, I knew from January that I was moving in September. The second time around, we had 3 weeks to move out of the apartment, and it was crazy. Like it literally felt like a movie, just being able to have that willpower to just carry out the goal and to be able to get on that plane that day and land and see our apartment. And it was beautiful. And I think that was one of the biggest challenges that I've experienced in my relationship, just in general. I don't think anyone has ever prioritized my sense of wellness the way that he has, because like I was literally losing my fucking mind in New York, just in my business and this whole vaccination shit, not being able to go nowhere. And you know, it just felt very like clustered, as opposed to like here, like it's such a wide space where you can literally do anything, like anything, you know, like the possibilities are endless. I must say it's definitely not New York. It's not as convenient, but it's definitely convenient in ways that are necessary for you to feel a little elevated. Like a lot of people, they feel as if, oh, like I can't move out of New York because of corner stores. Here, I can't tell the last time I've needed to go to a corner store or even craved going to a corner store. Like, what do you usually go to the corner store for? Like batteries, condoms, which nobody uses, fucking backwoods, which you could get from the gas station, chips, like what, like going to get a sandwich. And I personally, I don't even eat sandwiches outside anymore. Like if I get a sandwich, I'm getting a sandwich from like Starbucks, you understand? Like it's one of those things where it's like when you have the mindset to grow, you are able to swap out the things that aren't life or death. The corner store is not life or death, bitch. Like you gotta elevate from the sense of like codependence, you know? Make your own sandwiches at home. If you're staying in a whole state that's literally driving you nuts, and New York's getting way more expensive. Like outside is expensive in general, but like New York is crazy expensive. Like before I left, me and a few friends went out. Sorry, my titty itching. Me and a few friends had went out, and it was how many? It was like 4 of us. And granted, we did get a few shots of Casamigo, but, and when I say a few, like literally 2 each, right? So that probably would have been like half of the bottle. Damn, these nuts are crazy out here. That bill was definitely $600, if not $700. And I was over it. I'm so happy that that was like the second to last day that I was in New York, because that shit was crazy expensive. What really did it for me was the fact that I bought tickets to go to the Zelia Banks concert with my homegirl. And they told us like a week before that you had to be vaccinated, because it was the same week that the concert was. They put out, like Joe Biden put out the whole you have to be vaccinated in order to be in any like closed arena or indoor arena. And I was just like, no, I need to get the fuck out of here, because like, what am I doing here? Like, you're spending money and then you still have to follow the rules. Like, I'm not really the follow the rules type of chick. So like, for me, I was just like, yeah, I gotta go, because I need to be free. I don't want to ever feel like I can't do shit that is compelling to my spirit, and I'm having to like follow all of these rules. I could do a little tech, like a COVID test, but like, and even those, like those shits, I don't like them. Like, that's way too far up your nose. The last time I took a COVID test was when I went to Antigua, and that was worth it because I really, really loved that trip. It was so necessary for me. But other than that, I'm not trying to do that shit every week. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm good off of that. But yeah, Scorpio no moon has been able to like allow me to like reflect on all the shit that I've learned this year, because like it was so necessary, and I feel like I've mourned a good amount of the year, but once I got to that full circle moment, it's allowed me to realize like you have to go through that tunnel in order to see that light. And Texas is that light for me. Like, Texas is one of those places where like, yes, hella American here, like I'm not gonna get over that. It's definitely not New York. I think we're definitely a little bit more cultured in terms of like just being like the melting pot, but I don't regret it one bit. And you know, it's also been able to, as far as like the new moon, it's been able to help me to feel more confident in the things that I desire. You know, like love. And I've always loved love. Like, I'm definitely not one of those type of people where it's like, yeah, fuck love, but still be cuddling every night. You know, like, I definitely am an advocate for love. I'm an advocate for healthy dynamics and relationships and shit like that. But love is not just like relationship, it's more so like how you define the world outside of yourself is love. Like, how you're able to put your purpose into the world where it benefits you from a spiritual level, as opposed to like you being rewarded in a way where it's like, oh, now I see why I'm doing this shit, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I'll give you examples. So when I first moved here, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do, and I went from being a full-time hairstylist to not being able to bring my business with me, because here the demographic is a little different, so it's gonna be like a slow build up. I feel like New York chicks are just super dope. I haven't met many dope people here, so it's gonna take a little while. So I'm just like, I need to figure out like what I want to do with my brand and what I want to do as my like sole purpose. And every time I read like my numerology chart, it tells me that my sole purpose is to be some type of counselor or therapist or a coach or something along those lines. And this is something I've been doing like all my life, you know. I've definitely been the friend, the daughter, the cousin that people confide in. And it's been, at first, it's been really, really hard on me, because I'm just like, damn, like, who do I vent to? Who do I speak to when I have things that are like very compelling in my life, you know? Which pushed me to go to therapy, but that shit went left. But therapy was definitely necessary for me to realize that I need to create my own sense of therapy, which is what I'm getting to right now. So I created my own wellness coaching service, and I definitely wanted to keep it very affordable for women that are in need of growth. I feel like I can't teach the masculine as of yet, because like, to be honest, y'all need God. Y'all need like a man to teach you how to be a man. Like, I as a woman cannot teach you how to be a man. I could give you coaching on how to be a good person, But as far as like embodying your masculinity and shit like that, I think it definitely will be something that I have to build myself to. So I wouldn't put myself in the position to do something if I haven't really studied it. So that's definitely something I would like to do in the near future. But as of now, like, I want to focus on the feminine role, and the mother role that I embody, because, you know, cancers are the mother of the zodiac. And for a long time I really didn't like that shit, because I'm just like, this shit is tiring. But now I feel like I've been able to really embrace that aspect of self, and to be able to like love that aspect of myself, and just put it in places that matter, you know. So I had my first session, and my first session was so beautiful. It was so long. So I did my first session. I set my session at $1 at first, right? Because I wanted to, I didn't want to charge. I feel like I was very adamant about not charging too much. And my friends were like, no, you gotta charge something, like, so you can at least get a little Starbucks or something. You know, like, I'm telling you, my friends and I are very different. But I also feel like, yeah, like, they are right. Like, I should at least be able to do something with the energy that is being brought to me, right? So pretty much, hold on, let me get a little drink because I'm thirsty. So yeah, I started off with $1. I got 2 clients, and it was really nice to be able to start off small, because it allowed me to genuinely tap into my mothering like role, or my mother role, however you want to say it. Because I feel like when you are a mother, a lot of people think that you have to be a mother of, you know, a person that you've given birth to. But like, mothering is being nurturing, being genuine, you know, giving advice as if this person is someone that is a part of you, you know. And I feel like I've experienced a lot of different things in my lifetime that probably I don't like but it has taught me to pass on the knowledge to someone that is in need of that sense of TLC and that sense of support, to like transmute that energy into things that are actually beneficial for them. So I love the fact that, you know, the first session was so cheap, and because of that, we ended up speaking for 2 hours, okay? And I was so like shocked, because it didn't feel like it until like probably like an hour and a half in. I'm like, oh bitch, like, you said 30 minutes each time, like, because I said it for like $1 for 30 minutes, and then we ended up speaking for 2 hours. And it felt good, because not to say that that's gonna be something that I do all the time, which I haven't. Like, I definitely had to set the boundary, like, okay, Justine, like, if you do 45 minutes, that's fine, but definitely do not be sitting there for 2 hours, because you got shit to do. But it was beautiful to be able to like learn from her. It was beautiful to be able to teach her things, you know. It was beautiful to have that organic chemistry where we're having conversation about real shit, you know. We had different interests, so I was able to genuinely learn, you know, how it feels to be her as a person, and like the type of life that people live outside of me. Like, it was cool to be able to like get that, you know, perspective, because, you know, I feel like when you are a therapist, you're not only healing, but you're also learning. So, you know, just being able to like provide that service, it has helped me to think outside of myself more, and to be able to like be more selfless and more intentional. Because I feel like being selfless can be taken in a way where people feel as if like you don't care about yourself. Like, I am selfless, but I'm also intentional. Like, I'm intentionally coaching these women to be better than who they think they are, or who they think they're capable, who they think they are, really. Because if you don't have like a support system to be bigger and better, you will stay the same. And I feel like I have like a very strong support system. I have a lot of people that love and care for my well-being, and that has motivated me to wake up every day and do exactly what the fuck I want to do. And I've tried a lot of different things. Like, my resume is extensive, and I just never stay at these jobs because I just feel like I want to help people from a genuine place, not from a place of like, oh, you're not buying, oh, okay, you know. Like, retail is very superficial. Food service is not really like personable. I definitely wanted to do something that was more personable and more near and dear to my heart. So the energy wellness coaching is definitely a way for me to help people tap into their own energy and bring out that inner gangster that is constantly suppressed by society and our parents, and you know, just like our subconscious kind of makes us feel as if like us being a little like rough around the edges is a bad thing. And I feel like, no, be that bitch. Be that bitch. Like, don't ever feel as if you cannot be the person that you want to be, because people are out here literally just not living authentically. And honestly, I don't know how they sleep at night, to be honest. It's definitely beautiful to be able to grow into the person that you are, and to not feel as if the person that you are is a bad thing, you know. So it's been beautiful to be able to like do that, because I don't know, I feel like it's definitely very refreshing for me. It's not as time consuming. It definitely feels like a calling, you know, because, and it's funny because the wind is kicking up right now. God, is that you? I'm gonna wrap up this podcast episode because I'm running out of space. But thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed this atmosphere that I decided to bring out today, because I love being outside and in nature. But yeah, if you ever feel as if like you're not capable of doing something, just try your best to always remember that God has a mission for you, and you are capable of doing anything you put your mind to. But you also have to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that actually want the best for you, and they're able to motivate you to bring out that energy, you know. When you're around insecure people, you're gonna be insecure. When you're around sad people, you're gonna be sad. When you're around bitchy people, you're gonna be a bitch. And not that bitch, you're gonna be a bitch. And you don't wanna be a bitch. You wanna be that bitch, but still happy, you know? Like, I'll tell you a little quick story. So Summer Walker's album dropped last night, and I started listening to it. I haven't really gotten through it. I feel like it's definitely like one of those super long albums, so like it's gonna take me about a week to process. And I definitely am one of those type of music heads where I gotta listen to shit like 3-4 times before I can really say like this is it. I do like the overall vibe of the album after song 2, because song number 1 just doesn't hit the way that people are saying it does, nor does number 2. I'm not really a fan, but everyone has a different ear when it comes to music. But anyways, the album really brought back some feelings of nostalgia, and I ended up going through my notes, and I ended up finding this note that I made. I don't even remember who I was talking to be honest, but I was preparing to send a text to someone that I was done with, clearly, because I was wilding. I'm gonna see if I can find it. So I was like, honestly, talk is cheap. I really don't give a fuck about what you have to say. It's been a week and I've been wanting to talk. I've never felt so fucking stupid for a nigga ever. And I'm not even gonna allow you to let me fall back into the bullshit lies you've been telling me. Damn, that beat is big. You gotta move. I'm not talking to you. I said, throw my shit away. I don't want to see you. I told you if I don't see you last night, I don't want to see you at all. And you pulled the same shit you've always been telling me by telling me you fall asleep every time. So like, I'm trying to remember who I was talking to. There's no space for me in your life, and talking about that is only gonna fuck up. And wait, what I said? There's no space for me in your life, and talking about that is only going to fuck with my heart even more than now. Okay. Tired of basically begging to see you, getting attention from you, and making excuses for you. No disrespect, but I told you before, when I'm done, that's it, and I'm way too lenient with you just to end up disappointed. My heart is way too pure for this shit, and you're actually right. This shit is toxic and one-sided. And it's so funny just being able to like come from that. I honestly, I don't remember this nigga's name. I have a feeling who I was talking to, but honestly I don't, because this was April 12th 2017, and I wrote this shit at 2:00 p.m. so I was clearly not having a good day, because I woke up and I was like, yeah, 2 o'clock. That's one thing I like about the notes. Like, you're able to see the time and date that you was giving it up. But like, the fact that someone brought me to that space where I'm like, throw my shit away, it's cool, like, I don't want to see you, I don't want you to disappoint me anymore, like, you keep putting me in a uncomfortable predicament where I'm like anticipating something that just won't happen, you know. And I feel like a lot of times, like, as women, like, we wait around for people to get it together, and it just doesn't happen. And my old self, I used to be very, very lenient with niggas, because I'm like, yo, you really my bro. Like, I feel like I'm so cool with you, but like, also, like, you're not really cool with me like that in the same aspect. Like, the way that I view you, you don't really view me. You think I'm a joke. And once I leveled up, I really, like, I'm proud of myself, bitch. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I really been able to like get to a point where nobody could really mess with me the same way, you know. Like, that block button is crazy at this point, you know what I mean? And like, now it's been interesting being able to like reflect on my past self and the type of things that I used to tolerate, and you know, how much I quote unquote needed the attention from certain people, and you know, how bad I really wanted to get out of my house. So like, I would literally just chill with dusties, like, just to smoke, just to chill, just to eat, you know. Like, I really wish that I knew myself now. Like, if there was another me and that bitch was like telling me like, no, you don't have to do this, like, girl, your life is supposed to be good, like, I would avoid so much shit. But I'm happy that I've been through those things, that I've been in situations that were so degrading, to be honest, because that message was very degrading. But I'm happy that I went through those things, because it taught me my self-worth, and it also taught me to not allow people to take me for idiot. Like, when you allow people to take you for a fool, you really start to realize like, no, bitch, it's you know. But like, it took me years to get to a point where I'm like, I can't keep allowing people to take advantage of my love and my presence and my energy, really, you know. So yeah, I definitely am able to like humbly say that my shadow self, the person that I used to be, needed a lot of attention, and she really needed to be loved, and she really, honestly, she really needed her fucking parents. She really needed a sister. She really needed a safe haven, a home. Like, that bitch needed a lot. And the fact that I needed so much, I was out there just taking anything and making a fucking scrapbook, and that's not fair. That's not real love. That's definitely not, you know, it's not safe, it's not secure. And like, I'm a Cancer, so I need safe and secure. I need that validation. I need that security, you know, that blanket. I need to be comforted, you know. And the fact that I was really begging for attention from a nigga that faked going to sleep every night is crazy. Like, I'm happy I kept that shit, because now that I look back, I'm like, yeah, you definitely don't ever want to succumb to things that are beneath you, you know. Especially for someone that is not able to see that what they're doing is very toxic, that's very malicious. Because you only get a certain amount of time with people, especially like with people that are genuine. And if you're not able to reciprocate, then if you're not able to reciprocate, then you should be able to express that without, you know, dragging someone along thinking, damn, I'm fucking thirsty. Dragging someone along, making them think that maybe one day you will come around. But like, you have to know it for yourself that I'm not gonna wait around for you to come around. Like, come around for another bitch, but don't come around for me. Because when you come around for me, you might drag your feet, you might give me the bare minimum. Like, you really got to consider all that shit. Like, when you realize that some people, they can only give you so much of themselves because they don't really have much to provide, you will start to realize, like, oh shit, like, I need to give these things to myself so that when someone comes around, I'm not like having to like check off all of these different boxes, because I need these things for me. These are like basic essentials that are necessary. I just seen a spider jump off a cliff, basically. Wow. That was wild. Definitely, like, when you start to check off your own boxes, when you have someone else come around and they're able to like give you extra, it's like, oh shit, like now I'm like runneth over. I love that. I'm sorry. Once I learned that from church, I've been running with that shit for years. Like, once that cup is runneth over, you will be so abundant. You'll be so like happy to live. You look forward to a new day. Like, everything is just gonna feel like you're walking on air, for real. So yeah, that's definitely some of the self-reflections that I've been able to come up with during this Scorpio new moon. Like, yeah, like, I'm fucking proud of myself. And it feels good to be able to get to a place where I'm able to settle in the person that I am now and not feel like I have any regrets, because bitch, you did that.